What a moment. Canada's men's soccer team taking center stage in the world's most popular sporting event, the World Cup.
Had to come to Qatar. Canada qualifying, first time in 36 years, had to be part of it.
In Qatar and across Canada, a brand new sports excitement uniting every corner of the country, like the Olympics, only more rare.
Fans in cities like Halifax, all over the country, getting together to cheer them on. It's a pretty cool day, I think, to be a Canadian soccer fan.
The match did not disappoint. The Canadians, aggressive, carried the play to the heavily favoured Belgians, the second-ranked team in the world, even earning a penalty kick, a chance for Alphonso Davies to score Canada's first World Cup goal ever. It was not to be. Fans in Brampton watched the moment. Canada's last and only World Cup in 1986 was unexceptional. Lost 3 matches and never scored a goal. For decades, World Cup excitement in this country was found in Little Italy or in German bars and English pubs, where Canadians cheered for their ancestral home teams. But fueled by a wave of immigration, the sport has exploded in talent and popularity. And Wednesday's match showed that Canadian men's soccer has earned its place among the world's best. A thrill for a new generation watching at Alphonso Davies' childhood home in Edmonton.
I never knew he was from the school until last year. Then when Canada qualified to the World Cup, I was super excited.
In the end, the poise of the European club on one play was the difference, as Belgium scored the only goal of the match. Still, for many Canadians, it was a revelation to see the men's national team perform at this level, athletic and creative, and gave Belgium all it could handle. Can hardly wait for the next game. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.
Well, we knew going into its World Cup game today that Canada had a fight on its hands. Facing the number 2 ranked soccer team in the world was never going to be easy. And in the end, Canada did lose to Belgium. There were some missed opportunities. So what was it like to be there? Well, Joshua Kloke can tell us. He's a staff writer for The Athletic. He's author of a new book about the quest of Canada's men's team to reach the World Cup. And he's in Doha. Joshua, hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Look, Canada went into this game as the underdog. Everyone knew that. They knew that. It didn't look to me like they were outplayed, though. It felt to me like a nail-biter. What's your assessment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, outside of the result, I think this is about as good a performance as Canada could have asked for. If you're a believer in kind of advanced stats, the advanced stats tell you that Canada should have had, 3 goals tonight to Belgium's 1. What was most impressive, I think, throughout this game was just how Canada didn't take their foot off the gas, right? A lot of teams, when they go to the World Cup for the first time, they cower, they get nervous. Canada clearly didn't get nervous at all. They played with pace. They played true to their kind of authentic style of play, which is one built on that pace. And so for them not to kind of cower to the moment, I think says a lot about the maturity of this team, especially given how young some of their best players are, right?
Absolutely. The first half was really dominated by Canada. Canada outshot Belgium. Do you think Canada had Belgium rattled a bit?
Oh, for sure. After the game, most Belgian players gave full credit to Canada, even saying that, this is a game that Canada probably should have won. Belgium's coach, Roberto Martinez, and again, this is a Belgian team that is the number 2 ranked team in the world, is a World Cup favorite. Roberto Martinez, the coach, said, for us to keep a clean sheet against a team like that is satisfactory. That's not the kind of compliment you usually give to a team playing their first World Cup game in 36 years. So if you're Canada, you have every reason to be proud of the performance. I think the only thing you have to work on moving forward is the finishing, considering Canada did have all these chances. Some of them really, really quite great chances, but, couldn't finish.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask you about, there's lots of talk about whether Alphonso Davies should have taken the penalty shot in the first half. What do you think?
Alphonso Davies has scored both of the penalties that he has ever taken for Canada. Now, again, those penalties came against the likes of the Cayman Islands and Curacao, and Jonathan David is, probably the more preferred penalty taker, considering he takes penalties for Lille, a very good team in France. But when it comes to the moment, right, who would Canada want to possibly score their first ever World Cup goal? Wouldn't you want to give the keys to Canada's best player ever? I think he has the full support of his team afterwards. Multiple of his teammates said that. So this is a learning moment. The World Cup is going to be full of learning moments. And you have to give credit to Davies and the gusto that he did show to step up in the moment, because that's a moment, again, a lot of players would cower from.
Hey, Joshua, really quickly, 30 seconds. So many of us would have loved to have been there. What was it like inside the stadium today?
It was special. And I mean that because you wouldn't know there were any Belgian fans in attendance tonight. You had Tom Cochrane playing throughout the loudspeakers, an hour before the game. You had Canadian fans chanting, "This is our house," in Doha in their first World Cup game in 36 years. The confidence in this team and in its fans were honestly quite overwhelming, and I think it bodes well for their next two games.
Fantastic. Joshua Kloke, staff writer for The Athletic, thanks so much.
Thank you.